Perfect. Hello and welcome. My name is Joni Rampola. I'm one of the registered licensed dietitians with your Giant and Martins. And today we are talking all about the big game as we have the Super Bowl coming up, how to tackle your hunger. That is our topic, apps and snacks. So, going to start by just getting some cute football terms here. Planning a healthier big game. So the Super Bowl is the second biggest eating day of the year, only following Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Surveys were conducted asking people what they ate during just that 4-hour game. And while different surveys have different numbers, this is the lowest number that I found. Americans consume an average of 2,400 calories and 121 grams of fat. Some numbers went up to 8,000 calories, and that was according to the Beat and Pickwise. So the number varies, but that's just during that 4-hour period. That does not include before the game starts what you ate or after the game ends what you eat. So basically, the Super Bowl is an opportunity for people to overeat. So we're going to talk about how you stay on track with your goal if you have a nutrition goal and want to attend that football party. So first, we're going to talk about offensive strategy. So this is before the big game, right? What's your offensive strategy? By beginning your day with a balanced breakfast, you'll be more likely to continue normal eating patterns throughout the day. Include protein and fiber-rich foods such as eggs, or maybe those eggs have some vegetables in them, nuts, Greek yogurt, oatmeal. Things that have protein and fiber can really help fuel you. Aim to include at least 3 different food groups at each meal to get the most nutrition and the most staying power, helping you feel full and satisfied. Eating regular meals throughout the day can help you tackle hunger, like that tackle hunger, and tame that ravenously hungry beast you may become if you didn't eat all day. You can make smarter decisions when you're not overly hungry or too hungry at the start of the party. Oh, wait, I see I have a Q&A there. No, we cannot see your face during the recording. No worries there. Yes, you will get points between the 1st and 7th in January. And gotcha. All right, thank you. Just want to answer those questions in the Q&A first. Offensive strategy during the game. Kick off with fiber. And an example would be chili or chicken chili. They contain fiber that contribute to you feeling full, which is great. Avoid the bad food blitz by bringing your own healthy options, maybe vegetables, fruits, lean meat, nuts. Take time out from alcohol. So a lot of people drink during the game. Just make sure that you're hydrating with some water. So, sometimes it would be have that cooler of water right there in the center of the room and make alcohol in a different room, up in the kitchen, maybe, make it a little more difficult to get. So if you leave it up in the kitchen, maybe you'll consume a little bit less. Because, and why we're saying that is consuming too much alcohol can lead to poor food choices and lowers your inhibition. So what's recommended is 1 drink for women, 2 for men. And then don't let your eating go off sides. Like a player that gets too excited and jumps off sides, your eating can be carried away with the taste of this until you've completely lost track of how much has been consumed. So this is just a reminder to be mindful of what you're eating. So pay attention, right? So that you don't get off sides. Not saying any food is bad or don't have it. Just know what you're doing. Because sometimes when the game gets tense, it's just, ooh, eat until until something in front of you is gone. You can make it about the people, throw a football around, take a couple of pictures, have discussions about what's going on and how bad the refs are, right? That's usually what happens at my football parties. All right, then activity. What is your touchdown celebration? Right? Because we all can have our own ways of moving during a game. Try tossing a football during a commercial break. Take a standing break or practice your touchdown celebration dance move. Have a competition to see whose dance moves are the best. Doesn't matter what you do, just if you're sitting still for 4 hours, find a way to get up and move a little bit. It can also relieve some of that tension because sometimes we sit with our muscles so tight when things are happening during the game. Then our defensive strategy, intercept those high calorie fatty snacks. So think about when I think of high calorie fatty foods, I think of wings or typical nachos or fried items that we may have. And not saying don't have them, right? But sometimes we can lessen our calorie level by having the wing, but then also having celery to go with it. Um, so just making the whole meal a little bit less fat and calories. We can slash calories and fat by baking instead of frying some of those foods. And think about your portion size. Maybe you want to pass on big portions. Choose a slider instead of a full burger, or limit your dip to 1 or 2 tablespoons. And then no excessive celebration, right? Choose your splurge, have one, have something that you love, eat it slowly and mindfully so that you really taste it and enjoy it rather than packing in much during the game without even noticing you ate it, right? Make it something that you notice and that you love. When the game gets tense, have vegetables or gum to munch on rather than higher calorie alternatives. I have a son that gets very tense during games, and it's always like, here's your bag of carrots. And he will probably go through the whole bag during a game. We make fun of him, can't watch a game without those carrots for sure. And then balance your meals, right? So, yes, we talk about pizza or wings or dips or common foods that are found during games, but how can I add a fruit or a vegetable or a whole grain to what I'm doing? Is it possible to be there? Or maybe it's just shrimp and some salsa, get some protein in there, different ways. So, what we are doing today, we are going to make a lightened up nacho. So this is totally different than regular nachos. And if you see here, it earns 3 guiding stars. So 1 star is good, 2 stars is better, 3 stars is the best nutritional value. And it's really hard to find a 3-star recipe, especially nachos. So we're going to just show you what this is today. It's adding vegetables and a lean meat together to make a nacho. So just want to say what guiding stars is first. So Guiding Stars is our nutrition navigation system that you can find in our stores on any product that you buy. So 0 stars might mean it didn't earn one. 1 star is good. 2 stars is better nutrition. 3 stars is the best nutrition. And to earn 3 stars, it has more vitamins, minerals, fiber, whole grains, or omega-3 fatty acids, and less saturated fat, trans fat, added sodium, added sugar, or artificial color. And if you see our shelf tag there with the price on it, to the right of the price is where you'll see a guiding star. So there's that 429, and then at the top an apple, which is our symbol for guiding stars. And if it gets stars, the stars are yellow going down. So they're tiny. You have to make a little effort to notice to the right of the price tag, but that's where or to right of the shelf tag on next to the price. That's where you find them. All right, so our lightened up nachos, these are the ingredients. We're going to use butternut squash, some oil, 99% lean ground turkey breast. So it's a very lean meat, chili powder, tomato paste, lentils, cooking spray, blue corn chips. My store didn't have blue, so I bought regular. I wish they had blue today, but they didn't today. reduced fat Mexican cheese blend, some chopped tomatoes, where I'm using grape tomatoes, but they could be any kind, and chopped cilantro. And then these are our steps, and I'll go through them. But we're going to preheat our oven to 425, cut the squash into pieces. I bought my squash already cut. That's the beauty of our stores. They cut it for you. Then we're going to microwave that squash with some water for about 7 minutes. Then in our skillet, we're going to brown the turkey, add our chili powder, tomato paste, stir in the lentils, cook a little bit more until the chili is thickened. Then on a sheet pan, we're going to put our tortilla chips, then the cooked butternut squash, then the chili that we made in a pan. And then when it's all done, we're going to top it with cheese, melt that, and then garnish it as the recipe calls for tomatoes and cilantro, which I have, but you can also do plain Greek yogurt or guacamole or sour cream, whatever you like, jalapenos, whatever you like to add to that. So let's get cooking. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. All right. Now, let me see. I have a Q&A here. Let me just check here. All right. Yep. Good. Thank you. Okay. So first, we are going to do our butternut squash. So I have my microwave safe little dish that has a lid. I don't know if anybody has an ancient one like this with me. Yep. And I'm going to cook my butternut squash. So butternut squash typically has the long tube neck and then the bowl base. Well, I have this one that is already made, cut for me into the exact size cubes that I need, and I love buying it cut. So now I'm going to cook this in the microwave for about 7 minutes. And I'm just hitting that 30-second button a lot. Okay, we have our 7 minutes. Our butternut squash is cooking in the oven. Then to our skillet, let's see. I'm going to add, the recipe calls for canola oil, but I love olive oil. So I'm going to add olive oil. And for those that know me, I kind of always say this, but if you see on your olive oil that it's first cold pressed, just like saying what that means. Oh, you know what, before I do that, let me just throw my turkey in the pan because this takes a little bit to cook. So I have 99% lean turkey. And just so you know, beef doesn't come in 99% lean. That would have to be chicken or turkey. And I'll just mash that as we go. All right, then getting back to olive oil, this first cold pressed, what that means is they take the olives and they press them. That is the first cold press. So in that first cold press is the most vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids. Then they take that olive mash and they want to get more olive oil out of it. So they either chemically treat it or heat it. And then they get more olive oil out of it. And that is totally fine. Nothing is wrong with that. It just doesn't have as much nutrition or nutrients as the first cold pressed. So I always buy first cold pressed. But all olive oil is a great mix for your heart. Good heart healthy oil that helps so many things and is a basis of the Mediterranean diet. So I am just chopping up that turkey so that it cooks evenly. and getting it to be browned. And it takes about 7 minutes. So why this recipe uses turkey is because you can get 99% fat-free turkey. But just say, let's just pretend I chose 90%. So it wasn't 99, it was 90%. So 10% fat, 90% fat-free. And I found a beef that was also 90%. 90% fat-free, 10% fat. So I want to see what you think in chat. Are they the same for your heart if they have the same amount of fat? I like ground turkey more than ground chicken too. Not the same, not the same, not the same. Yes, you're right. They're not the same. Do you know why that is? Because beef has more saturated fat. So even if the total fat is the same, there's more saturated fat in beef. So the saturated fat is not good for your heart, can clog some arteries. Yep, you're right. Good job. It's a percentage, correct. Cholesterol and saturated fat. Yes, that's the difference. So even if you were having a burger, having a turkey burger compared to a beef burger, it's not only usually a lot less fat because turkey is leaner, but even if the fat was the exact same, you're getting less saturated fat, less cholesterol. Good job, guys. Now I'm just breaking this up again. And then we are cooking our butternut squash. Butternut squash is high in vitamin A. The beta carotene or vitamin A is what gives it that orange color. An orange color in anything, whether it's carrots, butternut squash, sweet potatoes, is good for night vision as well as many other things. It's also high in vitamin C and fiber. So this recipe that we're making are, let's see, it calls a serving about 8 nachos. And with the recipe we're making, it's about 308 calories per serving, which is wonderful. What do you think regular nachos is? How many calories? I want to see if you know how many calories we're saving by making this recipe. 800. Great guess. 1,000. So regular is about 600. It could be up to 800. It could be up to 1,000, depending what kind of cheese and how much cheese you glob on. But yeah, it's at least double. At least double. So that's why this recipe, we're still using the tortilla chips. Nothing's different about them, but everything else we're adding to it makes it really healthy. All right. Chili powder. Oh, can't see that label. Just regular chili powder. Adding that to my turkey. We got that measured out already. And when you have 99% lean, you don't need to drain it, right? Because there's really no fat that's going to be left in this pan. When you have a stronger seasoning, like chili powder, you don't really notice so much that it's turkey. If I didn't have that strong seasoning, was using turkey, I might add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce because that helps make it taste like beef, I think. All right. I'm going to add just a little pepper, get a little bit more flavor. And let's see. So now I'm going to stir in. Let me just show you my turkey.
It's just turkey with chili powder. That's all we got going on there. And I'm gonna stir in tomato paste, and it's 2 tablespoons. Like my spoon. 1, 2. My butternut squash is done. I'm gonna drain some of that water out. Let's see. Next, we're going to stir lentils. So this recipe asks you to buy lentils that were already steamed. I bought dry lentils because I had these already in my pantry. So what I did to my lentils is I cooked them in water to get it to be the same consistency as if I bought them steamed. But I like the dry lentils, and I did that myself. So that's just what my lentils look like, and I'm going to add them now. And when you add a bean or a legume like a lentil, it increases the protein and fiber of your dish. I'm going to stir that up. And 1 teaspoon of water. Let me get some water. My sink is right behind me here. Get a little bit of liquid in there. And then we are ready to start assembling it. It's going to keep cooking till it gets a little bit thick, as it's starting to do. I didn't do a good job of chopping up my turkey there, but that's okay. Some of them are in bigger chunks. I'm trying to chop it up right now. All right. So the recipe called for blue corn chips. I just bought regular. I have my pan, and it didn't say to line it with parchment paper, but because we're using cheese, I am. And just a comment about parchment paper. So our oven is 425 degrees. That is the highest temperature an oven can be. They say below 450. So I'll just say that's the highest temperature, but below 450 is the temperature you can use parchment paper. If it gets too high, your parchment paper will burn. So that may be why they didn't use it. And I'm going to take my chips and just put them on my baking tray. And we're using the whole bag here. And that's all I did is spread the chips on. And then I'm going to layer the butternut squash that I just cooked. So there's my butternut squash. And I'm going to layer that on top too. And I drain the water out. So I'm not pouring water on my chips. And then next, we're going to take our chili that is in the pot over here. And we're going to layer that on top as well. Turn off my fire. So I'll just show you each step of the way. That is my butternut squash on there. Gonna throw on some chili. Spread the turkey around. And I take my cheese blend, Mexican cheese blend. I'm going to top it all. And I'm using about half of the bag. And this is also reduced fat cheese, so there's less fat in there. And then I pop that in the oven to melt the cheese. I see we only have like 3 minutes left, so you're not going to get to see the finished product. When it comes out, I took grape tomatoes and chopped them up. When it comes out and the cheese is melted, I top it with that. And then some cilantro, if you like cilantro. If not, top it any way you love. And that is how you make lightened up nachos. And of course, the cheese will be melty on it, make it look so much better, but that's kind of what it looks like. I might add some olive slices or jalapenos to mine. 6 blue chips is 140 calories. Yes, thanks for looking that up. I'm a fan of olives, absolutely. Looks great, looks delicious. Thank you, wonderful. So glad that you spent this time with me. I wish you all a great Super Bowl. Go Eagles. And thanks for joining me. Making this recipe for my husband. Yes, adding olives would be good. Go Eagles, go Eagles. Yay. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.